Hello everyone, my name is Uthris and welcome back to a new episode of Banished. We are done here in this area. I think this is the western area of the map. This is where all the kind of stone is being gathered to be shipped out elsewhere. Also marble is being mined here as well. Overall pretty effective. We're making some different kiln items. We're making some clay bricks, but really I wanted to make some roof tiles, I think. Yep, some roof tiles. We're making some glass as well using these sand gathering shore house. Yeah, these items here, they're gathering sand so we can make into glass, which will allow us to make some more advanced type of structures eventually. We're making some stone statues, it looks like, as well, which we could sell potentially for some money. And this little town kind of turned out nicely here, and I'm real happy with the way it looks, especially with this kind of crooked side street in the middle there. If we go ahead and take a look at the map tells a good story. We are up to 4 full towns. These little gathering posts kind of around with gatherers' huts, I consider these to be villages, right? They're essentially self-sufficient little areas. They can hunt, they gather a resource, they have some homes. Those are like villages. And then these 4 main areas are towns here. I don't think the farming area is considered a town per se, but it does have a few additional amenities that the little villages don't really have, like, a vendor for tools and things of that nature, just to keep their walking to a minimum. But today is a special day. Today we get to go up and start working on the city that'll be up in roughly the northern middle of the map. So we pop on over here. You can see I spent a lot of years clearing out this whole area of trees and rocks and iron, and we're going to be laying out some interesting things long term. This is going to be a big project. I don't know how many episodes it's going to span. I don't know what all we can fit in this landmass. We might need to even go across the river in some areas. I just know I don't want to go any more left than this mountain range on the left side here. So we'll be getting started on that this episode. Food and stats wise, things are looking pretty good, guys. We go ahead and take a look at a town hall. We're up to 804 citizens. This is the largest banished save that I have ever made. And it's running pretty well. We're 100% educated, 98% clothed. It's year 109, and things are on the up. Things are definitely on the up. In fact, if we go to our population screen, you can see last episode we had a little bit of that, the food crisis, the last one in recent history, about close to 50 years ago almost in the game. No, 25 years ago in the game, and we've recovered at a pretty steady rate there. Food wise, you can see we kind of dipping, so we're starting to go back down. That's a sign that our population has increased a little too much, and that's why I'm currently on 1 times normal speed, because I'm worried that food long term might be an issue. And that's why I want to get started on the city as soon as possible, so that we can get more items in. I might start just trading for more and more food to help subsidize some of this, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. First task of laying out the city is I want to have canals kind of going through it in certain areas, just to help break it up, make it feel a little bit more interesting than a basic town. And to do that, we're going to be using a little bit of a modded asset. So let me bring back the UI. We're going to need this, and all the canal assets that we're using the NMT 3.1 canal set toolbar. This is New Medieval Town, I think, is technically the name of this mod. And we'll just be kind of cruising along here, laying out some of these. So one. So you'll notice that when we place them, I don't know how well you guys can see it, you're gonna get some arrows. This is the flow of the water, or maybe even the flow of the trade boats that come through there. I'm honestly not sure what it really signals. I have a feeling it's important, so I'm trying to pay attention to it. I don't know why, this is getting put on there a little backwards. I kind of wish there was an arrow in the ghost image so that I could line this up a little bit better, but it could be automatically lining up depending on the canal it's attached to. That would be good. So we're going to come back out. We're going to have a little bit of a straightaway. We're going to have a T-junction, I think, at this point in the venture here. Something like that. And then we need to come in like that. Because I want to, have multiple ways that this water is going to be interacting through this whole city. And hopefully it'll provide some cool pathing long term for boats to come through. I don't know, again, how that looks or works or anything like that, so it'll definitely be interesting. And I'm also going to be laying out this canal initially. There's additional buildings you can throw in here, like little fishing parts, bridges to go across the canals. You can do kind of water wheel, granary kind of water mills for grain. And you can also do a trading post. So I do want to have a trading post at some point in here. We just don't quite know how we are going to be doing it. Can I just do a turn? I don't think there is a turn piece. Just like a left hand. No, there's a corner. There's a corner. So if I do that, and then we do a T-junction, kind of off of here, like that. That will, nope, not a T-junction there. That's not really going to line up. In fact, I'm a little worried that this upper area is not going to line up at all, but we'll have to kind of see how that goes. Let's actually bring it down. That's probably for the best. Okay. Because what this will tell me is if I'm off a grid space or not. And if I am, then that's that'll be a bit of an issue trying to line this up. I think there is a single piece though. Alright, let's come down to there, and then we'll do the T-junction. Nope, not that way. I think I need to use the other one. Don't know how well you guys can see these little arrows on here. Oh, nope. That is totally reversed in the wrong way. And I wanted a relatively narrow canal. And when we start laying out the larger city streets, you'll notice that I'm going to be doing a... I think I just need a two wide kind of thing through here. Boom and boom. Is that going the right way? Nope, of course it's not going the right way. But I want to have just relatively narrow but proper looking city streets. That way we can kind of fit more buildings in here, because I want this whole thing to be pretty dense when it comes to its zoning. so we got that. Let's get the corner in. Yep. Just like that. Alright. So now we just gotta fix this one. Old stone. Single piece. There we go. And I think that's gonna flow all the way through. So we're gonna have a little bit of a bend, and then a long straight. We're gonna have a couple offshoots to go over to the right, and then I'm gonna have another long-ish canal. Kind of start maybe here, go down a little bit to the right, and then down, and then we'll connect in 2 different locations across. And we're going to be using the canal almost like artificial limits to zoning and the districts. And I want to have, a couple district varieties. Well, I think I want to reserve the whole left side to be kind of like a highborn district. Something a little fancier than normal. I'm going to do ×2 normal speed. You can see, we have a whole bunch of laborers now. In fact, I'm going to bump it up to 50 builders just to try and get some things constructed. But we have a lot of laborers, even with 50 builders, 150 laborers outside of that, so 3 times. And we'll have to adjust them as we go through. Let's do a couple new entrances. So there's like these gates. I kind of wish there was a variant of these that were kind of open. I feel like that would have been pretty cool. Let's have the entrance maybe like right here. So we have a little bit of a shoehorned area here. Alright, good. That's flowing the right direction. You never know when you first place these down. Alright, so this is going to have to be rotated 180. And we can just go in pretty much a straight line all the way down till it meets up. With the other canal. Okay, we'll rotate it and start bringing it over this way as well. I don't want to have too many kinks or twists in there. It does make it a little bit harder long term, probably, for the town layout. Alright. Come in here, kind of like this. And then we need a couple fill spots. We need a new T-junction. Kind of come down. A bit like that. Then we need to just kind of peel away from it. I'm going to go ahead and rotate these 2 pieces the correct direction, just so they don't get built and flow the wrong way. Alright. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do a little bit of a junction here. There's a little bit of a bend. I want to do a bend and then another just sharp turn as well. So we'll bend that way. Nope, not the right one. Super important. Nope. Alright. looks like it's gonna be this one then. Okay, got that. And then we can go this way with it. Well, you know, might help if I actually point in the right direction. That'd probably be good. Yeah, you can see these are off just... Actually, this might actually be pretty well lined up. Pretty well. Not perfect. But pretty well. Actually, I'm gonna move this up about halfway. And then we're gonna turn it. We're gonna go down and then straight to this side of the river, all the way straight to here, and then out. And then that'll be kind of the canals laid out. Hopefully. You can see we already need 75 builders. And this is gonna be a lot of resources, guys. The city is gonna be a consuming giant. It's no joke. You know, we're not gonna have food resources really as well. We have a trader coming in. Oh, judging from our lack of flowers currently, we definitely just completed some sort of auto buy trade for about 750 croissants. What else did we get? Anything else? That's good. 200 stone tools. Okay. Not a bad purchase, you know, for just selling flowers. We're basically Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. So let's do more canal work here. Alright. And... bop. Yep, that's good. We'll go over... let's go over... 3. The rules of 3, right? Okay, that's good. That's a good bend. Go ahead and flip this around. And end up being facing the wrong way, of course. I wonder if direction building saves sometimes. Like the orientation that you're keeping it in. Feels like it does, but then also sometimes it feels like it doesn't. So let's not flip it this time. And it, see? That's what I get. Never works out on the first go, guys. Let's roll this down. And then get a... yeah, let's come from over here on the left. Just to make sure everything lines up. All nice like. Okay. It's good. Need a T-junction. Perfect. How about that? Nope. Facing the wrong way, but it's okay. I'll go ahead and use that to just mark out the rest of it all the way to the shore. Which will have a lovely gate like that on it. Okay, now I gotta somehow look through all the weeds that is all these flowers that keep popping up every spring. This is why we keep selling flowers. Flowers are a little OP in Mega Mod, for those of you who don't know. My harvest is going awful this season, and I think it has to do with the fact that our barns are all full. I think they're having to walk too far. Holy cow, look at all the nomads. That's 1 or 2 people coming over here. But I think the farmers are currently having to walk way too far to drop off their goods. There we go, now we can see. Now that all the grass is gone, maybe I should have just been building and laying this out in winter. That might have been far more useful. I'm gonna just make sure all the arrows make sense here. So far they do. Cool. I'm really excited to see what this will look like long term. I have not done any sort of city design with Canals or any of their assets, so this will be my first time, and I hope you guys are excited as I am to get this whole thing done. There we go. So that'll be the rough layout of the canal. Again, we're going to be adding some of the special buildings over time, depending on how it looks. In fact, we can look at a few of them. So old stone. 4 times width. So there's a medieval fishing kind of thing that you can do, which will kind of narrow down the area a little bit and kind of allow for fishing. That might work actually perfectly right here. Let's just try it. Let's see what it looks like long term. So we'll have one little fishery there. And then maybe we can get rid of one of these too. Have it kind of flow on that way. I think the little sign will help us line it up, by the way, too, because it's kind of a good signal as to where things are. So we'll have little 2 fisheries there. We get the option for one of these. Now this is a kind of larger structure. It's a mill. Darn, I was really hoping we could fit it right here, right? But we're just one block off. I think that would have been pretty cool looking. Can't fit it the other way because it's kind of the same issue. I kind of want it right before a bend, because it's a bit of a large structure. So like, you know, right here might be cool. Not quite sure how it lines up though. Let's put it here. Let's put it here. We're gonna get rid of these, and laying this out in the winter is actually great because we can actually see kind of everything in a much better fashion, I would argue. So my advice to everyone right now is to if you do canal work, definitely do it in the winter. Okay, so that's flowing the wrong way. Tell you right now, that is 100% flowing the wrong way. So we'll grab this again. We'll get that right on the corner there. That'll be beautiful. Okay. Oh, balls. Those moments where you kind of click a little too quickly and you move your mouse at the same time and then just isn't aligned with anything. Alright, so I need one of these. Boom, boom. Stonecutter crushed by a rock. Okay, we're safe. I thought people were starving, but we have 88,000 food. We have time. If anything else, we have a little bit of time before all of our people start dying to starvation. I don't know at what point it becomes dangerous at this level, because again, this is the largest city that I've ever had. I keep reversing it. It's frustrating because you double guess or double. Oh my god, I flipped it twice that time and it still... This is awful. Alright, here we go. I am going to flip it 180. Finally, we got it. It works. Good job. Now the bridge seems to be its own piece. And that kind of tells me I need to know the road layout for all this, in a way, ahead of time. And that is the thing I do not know, like, at all. But I'm definitely going to need an access point into the center here and then into here as well. So let's do this. Let's get rid of this large piece because that can have a bridge. And this is the sad thing with games like this is you never really build cities like this. Cities to me are very much an organic extension of the human condition. So building cities in this fashion kind of feels a little weird to me. It doesn't really feel like the way something like this would naturally come about. And so I'm kind of forcing choices before knowing the consequence of those choices. And it can be a little weird. Okay, so we're gonna have a couple bridges here. That should be enough to at least get people into certain areas, so that construction can continue. But okay, so we'll go not 5 times normal speed. That's a little too choppy. That's a big downside for just simply. Actually, I'm really curious how this corner is gonna look with this dock coming this way. It's gonna be a little weird. Hopefully not too weird. What's another medieval canal piece that we have not used yet? We got fishery. We got a water wheel. We need a trading post potentially. I don't know. To me, that's either something in the middle of town or something right at the edge. Almost like a cargo thing. So how about I just kind of pluck it here, right at the exit. And see how that goes. Oh, thank God. Okay. Flowing the right way. Good, good, good. Always worried about that. Alright. I think... yeah, we got a gate here. This is a gate. I think that's a cool little system to have some canals going through. That'll make everything a little neater coming in. Now, long term, I want to have 3 entrances into this island. I kind of want to have a southern, a eastern, and a northern bridge coming in. So we need to decide on what bridge looks good in that sense. Guard tower bridge. Townstone bridge. Covered log bridge, drawbridge, brick and wood, covered bridge, stone bridge split. So here, let's do this. Kind of make sure they can go the same length too. So that's 14, a cost of 14. Cost of 14. And a cost of 14. So I'm going to test this bridge out. I definitely want to test a covered bridge just to kind of see what it does. So at the moment we're going to have kind of a lot of bridges through here, and then we're going to pick the best one. I want to see what a drawbridge looks like as well. I think that would be pretty cool looking. Tiny stone bridge is probably too narrow. Where's that extra bridge icon? There's a wooden covered bridge. Let's try a wooden covered bridge, even though this is a single lane. I just, want to see what gangway connections. Stone and wood bridge. Here's like the fancier ones, guard tower bridge. We're just making all the bridge connection points, and I really like this town stone bridge. It's another one I want to test too. Okay, those will be all of our options, I think. For me, I feel like the stone split bridges is probably going to be the best, if I had to guess, just simply for the width. Because what that's going to do, it's going to line up with our roads. So if I come over to city roads, kind of like this, you can see that it simply lines up to the curb system. And I want all the main roads to be these city roads, and then we'll do side streets doing something else. I don't quite know exactly what we'll be doing for that. So we might just cut to where this stuff is kind of built, and yeah. So let's cut a little bit. I just want to see what these canals look like, and then we'll probably end the episode here. Again, this is going to be a multi-part big section being made. Years later, here we are in the little region right before the city. These are the bridges that we were testing out earlier, just to kind of see what they look like in the game. You can kind of never tell based on the description and everything like that. We got the couple of little variants. We got, the base wood variant. This is what was originally here. The nice wide multi-segment bridge that you can kind of piece together, which honestly is probably one of my favorites. The covered bridge, now as a West Virginia country boy, I'll tell you this is very, very beautiful looking. I just don't think it makes sense for an entrance of a city to be covered, because that's essentially a defensive no-no. Don't do that. Don't provide cover for your enemies. We got a town stone bridge. Now this one's weird. It's got arches and columns. I like the texturing and color of it. I just don't like the columns. I don't get the point of having the columns there. This one's definitely interesting. This is a guard tower bridge, and they come in from the lower area and then walk across on the upper gangplank. That's a pretty cool idea. I don't think it fits as an entryway into a city, but could be used potentially elsewhere. Out and about. Maybe if we had like a watchtower on each side that this connected to, it would look pretty cool. This is the drawbridge. Very neat looking. I think this would look great around some sort of heavy dock kind of port-like area. And in fact, if we end up building some ports near a river or something like that, we could do things with these. And this is just a kind of dark wooden bridge. So, we're going to be using the split stone bridge segments, and I went ahead and laid out the rest of the main roadways here on the island. You can see all the canals are built, everything is flowing, and I have yet to get any sort of trade ship through here. I don't know if it's a mod issue, or if they're even supposed to be able to fit in here, or if it's not a mod issue, then I probably did something wrong. or there's things clashing with the mod that I'm unaware of. So for now, you know, it's basically for Lux. I hope long term it'll be expanded upon. Wow, we have a bunch of nomads coming in. To get some actual boats in here. If not, we'll put some decorative boats in a few places. I think that would look nice. But this is the current trading post hooked up to the canal system. Again, just no one has come in here. I don't know if part of the issue is you can see some of the water here is just not looking normal. And the reason for that is originally this island, if we look at the large map, you can see, well, you used to be able to see, there used to be a little bit of a stream here in the middle that used to kind of cut down through here. We filled it in and then put a canal over it, but I think the stream is technically still there, and it just knows, boats just know not to go down it. I don't know if that's the issue. I might try and build another kind of trading post elsewhere in the canal system just as a test long term, but that's kind of my main theory as to why this one's not working. So in the meantime, I have built a Old Town trading post kind of adjacent to it, just to kind of make it look like the dock coming out here is beginning at this building, and to expand the industrial look of the little trade post that we have. No boats have pulled up to this one yet, but this shouldn't have an issue functioning. This should be a standard trade post structure. I just haven't seen any pull up to it yet. So we'll have to see long term if this whole side is just borked or what's wrong with it, but we'll get that squared away. The roads turned out nice. You can see they have sidewalks, and we get a stone path in here. And you're going to be wondering, why is this lighter than this area? And that's because this is actually the road. This light road, while it looks nice, it doesn't actually provide a speed increase. And I wanted that speed increase, so I have been building proper stone roadways over top of what we laid out so that we get the sidewalk, but at the same time we get the speed boost of them walking on a stone roadway. So that's why you can see some of this stuff being constructed on still. The overall road layout, I think, is pretty good, pretty solid. We got 3 entrance points coming into the city. We got like a central market area that I have planned here to go around. We got the southern area. Now, to me, this southern area might be the lowest quality district. Maybe a little bit more slum, a little bit more dense, a little bit more of a ragtag dock area potentially. And then the right side, we have a little bit of a church. So this might be a little bit more of a mid-tier area. The north side might also be some industrial along the coast, and then some mid-tier along here, closer to the market. And then the whole left side, this is kind of the Highborn district. This is where potentially a cathedral might go. We might throw in some really high-end buildings along here. So professions to add, we're going to try and work on these maybe a district at a time, because currently the sim speed that I had to run this at is either 1x or 2x. Anything more than that, the game really starts to struggle, and it almost becomes like 10 times normal speed. You might as well run it at 5 times normal speed because it struggles less, and it's about the same time frame. So that's a bit of an issue as our city is kind of getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Another little issue that we're running into is this took so long that our population is actually kind of dying out. You can see here we spiked. I accepted some nomads just to kind of bump it close to 1,000 population while we were working. But we've had this gradual decline, and this is not from food shortage. You can see we're at 71,000 food. In fact, it's going back up. We had a bit of a food shortage around here, but it resolved itself pretty quickly. So this gradual curve is just really the replacement of our older citizens, I think. And then you know, them getting stuck in school to try and get the population educated again. you know, if I wanted to, I could accept some more nomads. In fact, we're having a whole bunch of them arrive in the town now, but I do want educated citizens, so that's going to be a little bit of a hiccup going forward. And we also need to increase food production along the river potentially, and even in the city itself. So there's just a lot to do, a lot to get done, and then we'll get started on this city. Anyways, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys are excited for what's to come. If you are, definitely leave a like, leave a comment down below if you have any cool profession buildings that's part of the mod set that you might want to see that you know of, and we'll see about throwing that in there. Any theme like for the different districts. The middle is definitely going to be the market square, but the southern, the kind of eastern, northern, and western district, all of those kind of need to be ironed out in the long run. So with that, thank you all so much for watching, and you have a great rest of your week.